we're up here.
Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. If you're watching this not live, it might be a good idea to go back and watch our part 1 video. We're going to pick back up on this.
Yeah, I'm not seeing this live.
And we're going to modify the project that we did in part 1, which is not labeled part 1. Just look for the one labeled Design a PC Box in CAD.
Yeah, while you're talking,
for VR.
I'm just making sure we're live.
Okay, Bob's just double checking to make sure that we didn't screw up anything.
Because I'm not seeing it on TV.
Make sure you subscribe to our videos. We're going to be doing a lot more how-to videos. And if you enjoy that kind of thing, please sub and like and comment. Hi, Karen. Welcome.
Oh, well, she's watching it. See, that's weird. I'm not seeing... Oh, right there, I guess.
Yeah, she's on.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
yeah, we're good. We are all good. All right, so should we start off with explaining, like, how we screwed up the last time?
Yeah.
Or?
So if you watch the last stream, you'll remember. And what I'll do is I'll go into this. We're gonna edit this PCB box. This is the case for the keyboard controller. Now, part of the problem that we ran into was that
Tell us, bro.
we measured the smaller board instead of measuring the bigger
Here, matter of
board.
fact, I have the smaller board. Let me grab the smaller board.
Here's how the box turned out. It turned out almost exactly the way we wanted it turned out. Let me bring up this because I'm seeing a delay. Okay, so this is how the box turned out. And if I put the lid on, the lid snaps on perfectly.
Oh, boy. Can you get that lid off?
Yeah, I can get the lid on.
Okay.
So, and that is one of the things, is the lid is so tight on there, it's hard to get the lid off, which is a good thing.
Which is how we designed it.
Yeah.
We wanted the design.
We wanted a very tight fit.
Tension fit.
I think that's your lid, by the way, because
Yeah,
it
okay.
wasn't too easy.
And then here, with this PCB board here, you could see, I'm going to try to put this right here. This actually fits very snug.
Yeah, it's actually perfect for that board.
Yeah, let me put it in its slot here. Hold on. There you go. So that's how it's going to fit in the box.
Which is ideal.
Ideal. However,
yeah, we needed to actually make it for this board here, which is slightly larger. And the pins are on the opposite side. So here's what we decided to do. What we're going to do is we're going to make 2 iterations of this box, right? We're going to make one where all the wires are on the back side of the box, because on some boards, the pins layout face the same direction as the USB cable.
right. So based off of where you're soldering, you're forcing yourself towards the back with the USB. So it just makes more sense to have all 3 on one
And
side.
this will allow you not to have to bend the wire. On the other PCB board, it looks like the pins are on the opposite side. So here's the goal. We made actually a bunch of notes that we're going to, just as a guide. So we're going to make the holes a little bit bigger because we found that the holes were kind of tight. They fit in if you crunched them,
Right.
but we don't want anybody damaging their wires trying to get in
Yeah,
there.
as per the design, what we decided to do was we decided to make this hole, and you may want to get rid of our notes so I can see. As you can see, this hole here is actually designed so that you force the wire down and then it pops into place, so that when the lid goes on top of here, you're just left with a hole, and the wire and the wire can't come back out. So,
Which was a good design.
And it worked perfectly, except it was just a little bit too
A
tight.
smidget too tight.
Smidget.
So we got to widen that hole. So that's our first goal, is going to be to widen the holes and make 2 versions of the box. One with the holes in the back,
Right.
one with the holes in the front.
And we're going to make the versions public on Thingiverse.
Yeah, once it's made, we'll throw them up on Thingiverse, so nobody has to really replicate what we're doing here. The other thing is, because we're making the holes bigger, we're going to have to bring them down a little bit, because obviously they're going to be bigger.
Right.
And because we have to bring them down a little bit, and it's kind of on purpose the way we did this. We made an inner plate for this bottom. This is in the CAD program, even though this is one solid box. This is actually 2 separate pieces, the inner plate and the outer box. So we're going to thin out that inner the inner plate so that it doesn't interfere with the holes.
Right, we
at
want
all.
the PCB
Board.
board
It should
to
be
actually just go down just a little bit,
Yeah, it
because
should be
those
just-
holes being a little bit bigger, it's going to bring them down. We want them.
Right.
We want the wire to lay flush so that there's never any stress on the wire. Because what we're using it for, it may be moving around a little bit, and we want to alleviate
Right.
any stress on.
So
the,
we
on the
want
wire
that
at all.
board to be just low enough that it houses that PCB board and gives you just enough height where the wires will clip in. So that's the goal with that. Outside of that, we obviously have to make this box bigger, both width and length.
Right.
And
then
we did
lowering it, we're fine on the
with
height.
that plate, right? So we did some pre-measuring, and I think what we're going to do is make this about 84 millimeters across, and 40 millimeters wide, and that will accommodate. The 84 accommodates for the 2 millimeters of the width of the walls, and so the inner body of it will actually be 80 millimeters by 36 millimeters. Should be plenty big enough for both of the PCB boards. So no matter which case you get, or which keyboard you get, you should be able to pop it in both,
Right.
either one of these.
And
so
again,
really, it's going to depend on where your wires are located.
And why are we worried about this? Because it's not just about the project that we're going to be using it for. But once you see the end result of what we're using this for, there are many people that are going to want to duplicate what we're doing for many projects outside of VR. So that's the reason why we're making sure that it's good enough so that if people did this on their own, they have at least a case where that project is going to work for them also. So that's why we're doing it.
So we'll get started. So the screen you're looking at right now is Tinkercad. It's an online CAD program. As we stated in our previous video, there's a ton of other CAD programs that give you a lot more options.
CAD programs.
This is free. It's easy to use for what our basic needs are. This is perfect for creating it. And this way, even if you don't have a 3D printer, or if you're just jumping in CAD for the first time, this is a great way to get started.
Right.
So you can feel free to log in, follow along, although this is not a tutorial by any stretch of the imagination.
We still think it is.
But you obviously can follow along what we're doing and design your own stuff. So we're gonna work with what we did instead of creating a new one, and then we'll see how it comes out from there. So this is the box, the original box we did. We're gonna open this and we're gonna modify this box. So there it is, and we're gonna tinker this.
All right,
So here's our box. We could scroll around it. So our first goal, I think, is going to be to ungroup and resize these items.
Right.
So let's start with this box itself. And we'll grab the box and we're going to ungroup it. And now this will give us the inner and the outer. Let me think about this. We're going to have to redo the holes because you can't ungroup a hole. So we're going to have to make those bigger.
Luckily, because we're cookie cutting them out, as long as they're bigger, it'll work.
Yeah, we should be fine.
Yeah, so we don't have to. Yeah, we'll just remake that.
And we kind of know the holes are going to work right now. What?
But then, what do we do with that hole back there on the second version?
What? What do you mean?
How did we get rid of that hole?
We add a box, 2 millimeters.
Oh, okay, then make it solid.
And then just make it a solid. We'll cover it up that side.
All right.
So we can do that. All right, but that was a good thought because I forgot all about that. So I think the first thing we need to do is let's widen this box, widen the inner part, and then we'll do from there. So let's start with this box. So we decided that this box was going to be 84 length, and because right now it's, if you look,
it's 74, I think.
It's 74, and that's the length. So we're going to change this. We're going to add another 10 millimeters to this and make this 84.
Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll give us 10 millimeters more
Right.
to play with there, and then 34 here.
It was down there.
I know, but I couldn't click on it. Okay, so, and this is going to be 40. And that will actually give us 36 inner. So now, as you can see, this is now needs to be adjusted. This is the inner.
All right. So
And
now
that
we're
gives
gonna,
us a general idea how thick that is too.
yeah.
We may not need that at all once we create the size of the holes a little bit bigger. We'll increase the size of this. And we got to increase the size of this.
Can we drop that down one just to see how far that drops down? You know what I'm saying? Like this shelf.
Yeah.
we built.
Do you remember what this was before when we just changed it?
It was 70.
It was 70, right? So we made this 10 additional millimeters. You remember? Okay, I'm going to change this real quick. So this was 70. I'm going to make a note. Was 70. So we're going to have to
Was that
change.
70?
Yeah, this was no 74.
Yeah, that was 74.
It was 74. I wish people were on to keep us straight. And this was
Just undo it again.
I did 34. And we changed it to 40. Okay. So we're going to change this back to
Just redo it.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Redo that. So now it's 84 and 40. So whatever this is, we're going to have to increase this 10 and increase the other one by 6. I know, it's ridiculous, right? Okay, so we're going to...
So do me a favor before you do that.
Yeah, let me bring this
Drag
down.
that down just a tad, and I'm going to see how much.
I'm gonna bring it right there. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. When we make the holes bigger, that it's either going to be keep it or remove it altogether, depending on the size of the hole. You know what I'm saying? Because once we move these holes...
So we'll keep it there and then...
Okay. So this is going to be... So this has to be now, we're going to increase this to...
now, whatever we increase this is going to have to be what we increase that.
Right, exactly.
So why don't we now increase that layer there?
First?
Well, no. See this one here?
Oh, to match that?
To match what we just did. You're going to have to ungroup that, right?
Okay, yeah. Let me grab this, or ungroup this, and then we'll grab this.
And that should mirror those dimensions.
Yeah, so this is going to be 40. And
then that's going to be 80, right? No, 84.
I'm going to grab 84.
Okay. And then whatever you make this is going to be duplicating that.
So we got to add 10 to this. So this is going to be 80. That's 0, 0. And we're going to add 6 to this one.
So that's going to be 36.
So let me grab, so this is going to be 36.
There you go.
Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for this. Yeah. So it's going to be
so it was
80 by 36. So 80. And 36.
Cool.
Okay.
And then if you go over top of it, it should be centered now still.
Yeah, let me do that. And it looks good. So let's group that back
group
up.
the lid.
So there's our lid. Let's change the color. Let's do blue.
All right, and then group your box.
Well, I want to still have some play with that.
Okay,
inner.
so let's wait until we get the holes cut out.
Let me, for right now, I'm going to move this lid just out of the way so we have some room to play with this. Because now we're going to have to, the boards that we're working with currently are on this correct size, right? This side. It's not the other side. Your smaller board, I think, was on the other side, was it?
The smaller board, here it is right here. The smaller board was on both the same side.
Yeah.
So we have to keep it this way.
For the other two boards.
For the other two boards, and then reverse it for this one.
Okay, so we're going to look at dimensions of this hole. I don't know if I don't think you can get the dimensions of the hole, so we're gonna have to just redo that.
Right. Well, we can judge it. We could just throw another cylinder in there.
Right. So let's throw a cylinder in there and we'll look and see what size it appears to be. So right there, 90 degrees.
That's it right there. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect size. Gosh, I can't remember what we did. Let's start with 5. Let's bring it down to 5. I think we did 5. For some reason,
actually look at the video.
5, I think, is sticking with me. Or was it 0.5? No, this is not the 5 I want.
Oh, I have it right here.
Okay, so, and I don't think we're thinking this through because I think this was 5 and this was 3.
Yeah, I can't tell, but we'll be able to judge it right from here.
Yeah. So let me move that in. That looks like it's a fit. That looks like
it may actually be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Let me see something.
I'm going to bring it back out and see if we could see the whole circle from the inside.
I'm going to get to the part where we created it on the television, and then it'll tell us what we did. All right, hold on. So the top one was 3.
And the bottom one was 5,
And
right?
the bottom one was 5.
Okay, so the top one was 3. So circle. The top one was 3.
Top one was 3.
Was 3. Bottom was 5. So if we're going to increase it, what do you say we increase it to 7 and 5?
Do you think? Now I'm just looking at it. Let me see the caliber. So we're saying that the 5 is going to go to 7.
Yeah, I think we should do 7 and 5. So 7 would be the bottom circle. 5.
All right. So
and you know what? Here, look. Here's the.
Pass me the Cat5 cable.
Here, I'll give you the one that we're not using. So this is standard Cat5. And it should be
wow. Okay.
5 millimeters.
It's actually 6. 6 loosely.
But remember, we measured the other one and it turned out a little bit tighter.
Right. But what I'm saying is, pass me the blue one.
Okay.
Remember that we went, okay, well, if we make it smaller, then it would be good if we squeezed
Right.
in. But now I'm thinking that's not the case, right? And this is
That's 6.
about 6 loosely. So I'm thinking that we do 6.
So 6 and 4?
6 and
6 and 5? You just don't want it popping back out. If you do
Right.
5, squeeze 5.
I mean, I'm squeezing 5. Yeah,
6 and 5.
6 and 5. I'm squeezing to get to 5. Let me try the other one. Oh yeah, I'm squeezing to get to 5.
Okay, so 6 and 5. So that if we do this 6, so for people to follow along, the whole idea is this circle is going to be just small enough that you have to push the CAD 5 from this circle to pop it into place into this bottom circle here. And that will prevent it from popping back out of the
Right.
top. And then this should be 6 and 5 millimeters. We just got to make sure that this right here is, I believe we came up with 3 millimeters, 2 point something 3 to cover this area. So we got to make sure that the
That
center
was 3. Are you talking about the width of that?
from here to here.
Oh, right.
So we got to make sure that,
It was 3.
yeah. So we got to make sure that this still remains about 3.
So I think what we should do is,
Which it will, as long as we make this circle the same in the same exact spot.
right.
Meaning that the point of this cylinder is the point of this hole.
The top of that cylinder has to still meet the top, and it's got to dip down, right? Because you still need to be able to drive the other circle, which is going to be 1 millimeter.
Right. So we'll move it down 1.
Yeah, we're going to have
move
to.
it down. We'll slide it in. Okay, that's a good idea. So let's start by shrinking this because it does not need to be this long. Let's bring this out a little bit. Okay, so looks like this is 30. We'll just do this halfway, 15. Sorry. Okay, that's good enough to work with. All right, so now we're going from was 5 now
6.
6.
Is that what we said?
Yeah, 6 and then 5, right?
6 and then 5.
And then 3 now 5. Okay, so we're
That's
gonna.
dramatic.
It doesn't seem like a lot. You're
That
thinking
is
a
dramatic.
millimeter. We really should be working point millimeters, but
Maybe we should do 5.5. I'm squeezing this. Right here is 5.5, right? I'm squeezing.
Hey, Cody.
I'm squeezing 5.5.
Right.
If I squeeze, well, I don't know. Here, do this. Squeeze to 5.
What is this, Cody? We are in CAD, making a case for. Yeah, if you, it's loosely, it feels like, and depending on where you put the wire,
Right.
it's 6.
Right. So now squeeze it to 5.
That's tough squeeze.
That's what I'm saying now. But the blue one is not as tough squeeze. So if you go with a standard Cat 5, which is this is another standard Cat 5, try to do this. Oh, but there's wires missing from here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there not?
No, we didn't point it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not hard to squeeze to 5.
Okay, so we're gonna go with 5.
Yeah, I think we should. I think
Okay.
5 will still be. I mean, you know what? It may take a third iteration of what we're doing. So Cody, we'll explain. So right now, what you're looking at is a CAD program, Tinkercad. I'm not sure if you're familiar with CAD. If you are, let us know. We have a project that's upcoming that is going to interact with the PC in VR. So you don't
Yes.
have to use your grips. You don't have to use your controllers. You can use other things to interact with the PC.
Well, you can. It's something to add to your controllers. We should just say that there's times where we're using our controllers, but we need to be able to do something else. And this is gonna. This is
going to have. What it does is it houses
this right here.
So this right here is and if you watch our previous video, you'll see this. This right here is a PCB board from the inside of a keyboard. And each of these pins represents a combination of 2 of these pins represents a key press on the keyboard. So what we're doing currently is building a housing for this board. And we have two variants of this board. One is bigger than the other. We've already done one 1, which is what you're seeing on the screen. Now we're modifying that because it needed to be bigger for the second board. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. If you have questions, just ask and we'll try to answer.
Yeah, throw them out.
We're not giving away the whole what we're doing it for, but that's just the gist of what we're doing. So right now we're modifying CAD. So if you know a little bit about CAD, please help along.
Yeah, because we don't.
Yeah, we don't. We're winging this as we go along. So we got our caliber. We're kind of measuring the width of the wiring and how big we need the box, and we're now modifying what we did a few days ago. So we have this box now. It is 5. We are going to make this now 6 millimeters wide, a 6 millimeter radius. So let's change this to 6. And we'll change, where's the other?
I think it's the top one. There you go.
Yep, this one is 6.
Okay, so now
we're going to move this.
I think this is where it needs to come down quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit coming down. And let's bring it in and see how we are.
Wow, that's big, dude.
It does look big.
I mean, that
it does look big, but I don't think it's as big.
Bigger than.
I don't think it's as big as what you think. Okay, thanks. I don't use a 3D printer, but I watch other people use. Well, and that's a good point. And in our video, when we finally put this all together for you, we're going to show you an alternative to do the same project without using a 3D printer.
Right.
And without any soldering skills or anything like that.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of soldering that's involved here.
Yeah.
We have no soldering skills, but for anybody who doesn't have a soldering gun, anybody who doesn't have a 3D printer, anybody who doesn't, want to try to make a box, you could just slap this together and we'll show you towards the end of one of our last videos on how that's done.
Yeah, so we're going to do an alternative to what we're doing here, where you don't need any CAD or a 3D printer. Obviously, it'll be a cheaper method. But it may be just as effective.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
This is just tidying up. And because a lot of people do have 3D printers, doing this project, we figured we're going to share our files so that people can grab them, download them, and do what we're doing. I would bring that in. I would pull that in just to see where that lands.
Okay. That's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad, dude. Keep going. Okay, that's now let's go inside the box and see where that actually. Oh, you know what?
So Cody, we don't pretend to know anything about CAD or what we're doing. You're learning as we're learning.
Yeah.
We know a little bit about the software.
We don't know about electronics, so when we're tinkering, if you look at our other videos, it's obvious that we're learning as we go along. But it's a part of the fun. It's a part of the learning experience. I actually think that needs to come down.
Come down because
that other one has to. Yeah.
So we'll bring this down.
Up. See what I was talking about? I bet you it has to meet that radius at the top.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But that gives us a good clearance for the board.
Not that much. Dude, you know what you're looking at there in true actuality? I mean, it's like nothing.
Yeah, but if I look at
that's
how much
probably
we have
not
now,
even, that's probably 1/4 of a millimeter.
But look what we have now.
I still think
we brought this down.
Oh, we did?
Yes, we brought this
okay, then we should
layer down.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think we did.
So people don't have a 3D printer that people can do without a 3D printer.
Right.
Yes.
But even if you don't have a 3D printer, see, the reason why we're also doing this is because if you're interested in doing something in CAD, this is a free website. It's a free CAD. You could just sign up, log in. It's called Tinkercad. Design something yourself. There's companies out there when you go to like Thingiverse, there's stuff, and we'll put this up there in Thingiverse so you can have it. You can modify, do whatever you want. That you can request just to have it 3D printed. It's very cheap.
Yeah.
So just it's more of the get people to open up their mind on a lot of things you can just make yourself.
There has been many projects where we have done stuff in CAD, printed it out, and went, well, yeah, this is very useful, and we use them today every day.
Yeah. So. There's a lot more things I want to do. I think that's good.
I do. So do I.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I think once we place the other one, so let's
replicate this. Move this over. We'll cut this out.
Or do you want to place the other one and group it just to see
It's
how
going to
that
be hard to group these without grouping. We could try it. So what we'll do is we'll copy this. We'll make a duplicate of this and just make it smaller.
Right.
So we're going to do Control D. Control D will duplicate it. We can move it up. Oh, sorry. We'll move it up. That's the duplicate copy.
And then we wanted to make this,
And this one is going to
5.
be 5 millimeters.
which, why do I think that that's going to be too big?
We'll find out. Okay, so
All right, so obviously that has to be moved to the left.
yeah, because it accommodated for us. So we're on a point.
Oh, dude, that may not work. Oh, maybe it will. Now bring it up. Because it's going to be right there. That may work, dude.
That may work. I like that. I like that.
So here's, for everybody who's watching, I think that has to be moved over to the right just a tad. The object is
Like that?
the
No, I think it's
radius
off
of
now.
the bottom hole
It's off.
is going to, because we want this project to be done as cheap as possible.
Oh,
And what did you do?
I have
And
no
the
idea.
and what we found is when it comes to wiring, a lot of people have a Cat5 cable laying around, like a networking cable.
yeah, the clips break off easily.
Right. So what we decided to do was use as a Cat5 cable as as the dimensions of the bottom hole, so that way anybody can grab a Cat5 cable, cut it, don't have to go out and buy additional wiring. And then this radius here is the width of a Cat5 cable. This is smaller, so when you push the cable down, it forces itself into this hole and fits snugly, and then the lid is a tension fit lid, and it just comes right over the hole, this hole, and creates the seal, so that you only see the bottom hole, and that's where the wires sit.
Right. So if I grab this box and I put this lid back on, because this is the actual box we created, and I hold this up, you'll notice that the lid itself, let me push this lid down here. There we go. You'll notice that the lid itself covers the top part of the hole. So really the only thing you have is the hole itself. And that lid will crimp
Right.
the wire. So let's group this and then we'll use
And then
this to copy.
Yeah, copy it. And
Okay.
I think that would actually be a good one, dude.
Sorry. No, it doesn't mean anything, but there we go. So we'll group that and
Then we got to copy
Control
it and
D.
yeah, move it over.
and then we will go over here and move this over. What do you think? I like it.
Yeah, it looks
Like
good.
it a lot. Okay, so let's cut these out of the box.
Right?
So we're going to select this one because it's now grouped. We can say this is a hole. And then we will select, let's zoom out a little bit, and we'll select all of this
And then group.
and group that. And that will do that. So which now groups that inner part, but that's fine. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll select this, tell this it's a hole. Oh, undo that. Select all this, tell it to group. So that's our new modified
Right.
one.
All right. So that
So
looks
that's
good.
good.
That's probably going to fit.
That's good. I like that.
All right. So now we have to do the same for the back on this version. We're going to have to make that a little bit bigger.
Right.
And then now, let me go with that wire. Now, just so for everybody who's following along, this wire here is the width of a standard USB cable.
Right.
So let me grab the USB cable. Where's that other It's right there. Grab that, and let's see what loosely this measures.
And while
All
he's
right,
doing
so
that, I'm going to grab a
loosely, this
cylinder.
measures 3. I don't know what we made it before, but I don't think it was 3.
Want this 90 degrees. And so you're saying loosely that's 3. Oh, let's make that back to 10.
Yeah, loosely it's about 2 point. Let me go in here. It's about 2.7 loosely, 2.8. So a little less than 3.
And I believe we were using 0.5s on this one, if I remember right. Because that definitely right there looks bigger.
It does. Let me
go
up here and see.
I don't know how to move. I don't know how to move the environment. The only thing I can do is move the entire box over.
I'm looking to see what we did it, how we did it here. Okay, I'm going to let you know what we made it, all right?
Okay.
So for the bottom one,
Okay. So the bottom one was.
the top one, we made it
Top was
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah.
Bottom was. I think it was 3.5. Bob stepped away to look and see what we made the last hole in our last video.
Sorry. We already grouped it. So I say we make it the width of what we just measured it.
Okay, so that was.
So in reality, what I think we should do is we should go with at least 2.7 on the bottom one.
2.7? Really?
Well, if I measure this, look.
Are you crazy, Mom?
Look. If I do this.
Right. Well, and that's what we made it, 3.0. Oh, you're talking about 2.7 on the top one?
No, I'm talking about 2.7 on the bottom.
And then what would you make that?
So maybe 3.0?
Yeah, because look at where's the case? You have yours open? Yeah. Try to put that wire in it.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't fit it, right?
No way, not even close.
And this had to have been larger than 2. At least 2.5, not 3. If the top was 2,
Oh,
see what I'm saying?
so make
So we
it,
definitely have to be looser.
so make it 3.
I would make the bottom 3 to 3.5. The top one 2.5.
Are you being for real?
Yeah, I'm being for real. All right, what do we make the bottom 3 and the top one 2.5?
Okay. Let me see if I can measure this.
My only it's right there. Oh, it just showed it. My only fear is that the that circle is the same size as the circle we just made.
You're saying that we just showed it here?
Yeah, I think so. We just clicked on it.
That was 3.
It was 3,
Yeah.
and that's what we have it
Oh.
now.
So then we definitely need to go bigger.
See what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Good call, dude.
So I think we make it 3.5.
Yeah.
Make it 3.5. Make this one 3.5. We'll mold it over. Move it down.
And then I would move it so where the top again meets the up right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, likey. Okay, and then we'll make the other one 3 or 2.5. I have a feeling this was also 2.5, which we have
Okay.
trouble getting it in. So I'm
So let's
thinking
say 3. Let's make that 3.
So we'll duplicate this. Move this up. And we'll make this.
I'll be careful. You're clicking on the bottom one.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Make this 3. And this is 3. And we're going to move it on over. What do you think? Move it up
To
some?
the front of it. Man, that's so close to each other, though, right?
Yeah, let's move it up. I want a gap. I want a larger gap. You know what I
It
mean?
has to be moved to the left one. You want a larger gap where?
Up here. I want it to click. See what I mean? I don't want to have problems
right.
pushing that in. So,
But you don't think that that's too big?
no.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
You don't think it's too big?
No, I mean, we can run with it.
See, my fear is even here. See, okay. We'll assume that. Is that right there going to be enough? Push that wire in.
It should be.
You think? And it looks like it needs to be moved over to the left of here, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's what I was saying.
But I'm on 1 millimeter. Does that not look right there?
No, and now it looks too far to
To
the
the
left.
right, right? So let's change this to. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on.
I would keep it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say let's run with that. You're saying that you don't think you're going to be able to force that wire down where it's sitting.
I'm just afraid.
Bring it up a
out.
tad.
Just zoomed out. It kind of looks like we're going to have a hard time. See, that might be better. That might be better there.
Okay, I agree with that, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I think
agree
that
with
might be
that.
better.
All right, let's try that.
Okay, so let's group this.
And you want to hold. You have to hold first.
Oh. Hole. Group.
Okay, and that is that one done, right?
Right. So we're gonna save this.
Well, I would move that lid back so that when we throw it in the.
I actually moved this whole board over.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So Oh, Lord. Good.
Yeah. Why does that lid look smaller?
It's not. It's the right size. It's the same size. I just can't get it.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as it's
Yeah, see
it's
it?
right side. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is box number 1 done. So
Yeah.
what we can do is send this off to the printer while we're
Okay.
modifying it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna save this. I almost hit the.
Now, for Cody or anybody else who's still watching, so what we're going to do is we're going to use, we're going to save this as an STL file.
Right.
Then we're going to bring it into a slicer. And this is, in order for you to take a 3D object like it is right now, you can't just send it to a 3D printer because 3D printers print in layers. So it's got to print the first layer. It's like almost like a pancake. It's got to print
Right.
the first layer of the pancake and keep building up and building up and building up. But this is just one model. There's no layers. It's
Right.
not sliced
A printer
up.
wouldn't know what to do with this.
So what you have to do is you have to take this model into what's called the slicer, and they call it a slicer for a reason, is because it's going to slice them into layers. That's what the slicer does. So we're going to export this out as an STL file, and then what you're going to see us do now is bring it into a slicer to start to slice this mofo up.
Right, but if you were doing this particular type of project for like a 3D animation program, like 3D Studio, or
Right.
you
You wouldn't do that.
no, you would save it as an object file, and then
Right.
this way you can bring it into game development software. For example, if you were building tables for a room in a game, you might want to bring it in here, build out your 3D objects, save it as an object, and then bring it into like Unity or Unreal Engine, and then just build it out from there. We're going to use STL because that's what the slicer supports. So I'm going to save this as an STL. We're going to save this. Just save it there in your download.
Put it on the desktop.
I don't know that I can. Well, give me an option. So I'm going to say File.
Oh yeah, you could just keep save it.
Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the 3D Slicer program, which we're using Simplified 3D. So let me bring up Simplify, change the desktop window to Simplify, and we'll bring up Simplify here. So what you're looking at now is the Slicer program that we use. Let's go back to Simplify.
All right, we're here. So
Okay.
all right, you're
And
good.
let me, oh, you know what I can do? I'll do that. Bring that
And
over
just
here.
drag it in.
Yeah, I'm going to just drag it in. So,
That was in downloads.
okay, so in his downloads folder, we should see, oh, what did we name that? We named it, let me sort by date. 825.
Oh, it's got to be
okay.
the case one.
All right, so I'm going to drag the case 1 into here. And that is, so what you're seeing now is, wait, are you seeing that? Yeah, you should be seeing it.
Yeah, they're saying it.
Okay, so you're now seeing the 3D case in Simplify. It seems high, but let's bring this in. So what happens now is the slicer, this is a slicer, and this tells your 3D printer, you set this up for your 3D printer. So you tell your 3D printer what the slicer can do. So if I bring this down here and I change this to our slicer program, we're going to change. What percentage of infill do you think we should use?
I don't really think it needs a lot. Infill is the amount of plastic it's going to put inside the walls. That's what infill is, and based off of how thick that model is, I don't think we need a lot of infill. So I would keep it at 20. I would do a 20. Matter of fact, I really don't even think that
For testing purposes, we could just do a 10.
I don't even think this is going to use infill.
Right. So let's just go to 10.
Go to 10.
because it will use infill for this inner case, that little.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's
Okay.
use 10 for right
All
now.
right, so we got 4 millimeters, can be 1. Let's say if you see anything out of the ordinary.
Layer height, we want 2, right?
Yeah, so the layer height, depending on how fine detailed you want the object to be, you would change this. Right now it's 0.2. Our nozzle is 4 millimeters. So
Right.
we really wanted to make this a quick print.
Right. If you wanted to do something detailed, like I can bring down a castle that I printed that has a lot of detail. That one I printed in .1 because it has fine little steeples and everything on it.
Oh, I just realized they can't see that part of the screen.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're just going through our settings. You can't see it on your screen because we're only displaying that window. So,
but we'll explain it to you.
There's a skirt. We're going to throw a little skirt on there.
Now, the skirt is just going to put a little bit of plastic all the way around the piece so that it starts to lay down something so that it gets the printer going.
There's going to be a honey fill infill, which is what I like. Support, there's no support needed because these are both on a flat surface. If you look at this bottom part here, it's laying directly on the bed.
Right.
The only thing you would need support for, if you flip this box around and this would now become a bridge, you would need support for that. The temperature, we're using PLA, so 200 is fine. That's what I normally.
I usually print at 190, but go ahead and run it 200. And then
200.
my bed I usually put at 60, but 50 is fine.
Yeah, these are the settings that I use. Cooling, we do 100% for PLA. And then after layer 1, it drops to 60 because you don't even need a fan for
Right.
PLA. The G code, we don't really touch anything. Just make sure your printer dimensions are on your G code. Script, nothing major there.
They're not seeing any of this.
So let me just go through, and I think we're fine with the rest of this. So I'm gonna say okay here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is prepare this print.
And if you zoom in here, you'll actually see the layers.
Yeah, so if I zoom in, these are the layers it's going to do. So you can see each layer that it's going to print there. And then it kind of gives you an approximate time. Build time is going to be 1 hour and 11 minutes. That's an approximate. A lot of times it's off. So we're going to save this. We're going to save this now. This design, right? You're okay. You know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm going to tell it to drop the model back on the table and align. Okay, so that we know it's on the table. So let me save this to the disk. And we'll save this to your desktop. Is that okay?
Yeah, save it to my desktop. That's fine.
And we'll name this PC board new modified. PC board modified. I spelled that wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm going to save here.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do now is we're going to bring up the
3D printer.
The 3D printer software. Now, what we're using is Octoprint. Octoprint is a free program that you can grab. You can put it on your Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, now this is another project where our printer is controlled by a Raspberry Pi, which is controlled by this web interface. And the reason we do that is because it gives us a little bit more control over the printer than what your standard 3D printer allows you to do. So for leveling purposes, we can level our printer a lot easier. So from here, like we're not even close to the printer. The printer is in another room upstairs. But what we're going to do is we're going to send this over to the printer, start this print from here, and then you can actually, if you go over to the, after we load the file, you're going to be able to see what the printer is seeing.
So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to upload. You know what? Do you mind if I create a folder?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to create a folder, and we're going to call this, we'll call this PCB case. PCB case. And create. And this way, anything that we create going forward, for the sake of this
this
video, we'll keep everything in this PCB case. So then we're going to upload, and we're on the desktop. We're going to take the G code that we modified. We're going to put it in there, and now we have the G code in there. So if we click on this, it puts it here, and we can go ahead and start printing. Now, if I go over here to control, you're going to see Bob's printer on the window.
Yeah, this is actually a live camera on the printer. So we can actually monitor the print as we continue on with creating the other one. So we're going to send this to this printer, and then we're going to, we'll actually watch it heat up and everything if that's interesting for anybody.
Yeah, so should I hit print?
Yeah,
I'm
you can
going to
hit
hit print. And then if I go back to the temperature, you're going to start to see these temperatures increase to what we programmed in our Simplify,
Right.
which was 250. So we're going to see that these temperatures are going to start increasing to 250. Are we connected?
Yeah, it's increasing.
Okay.
It is, right? It is connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we can see it increasing now. So that's going to take a little bit of time to go up to 250.
So in the meantime, what we could do is we can go back and start to edit the other ones.
Yeah, so can you duplicate? I think you can. So let me go back to, we'll go back to the CAD program. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to, this is going to auto saves. I'm going to go back to Tinkercad.
Yeah, and let's make a copy.
And we're going to make a copy of that project. Hopefully we can do that. Go to gear
and
duplicate. And this way we have the other board. We'll name this we'll name this PCB case.
What camera did we use for the Raspberry Pi? Oh, that is a Logitech.
Is it written on the camera?
I'll go look.
Well, Bob will go look while I'm doing this. So this is going to be PC case, one side holes. Okay. And the whole idea with this case now is for those of you who have all of the holes on one side, meaning your USB, and I have it here while Bob's looking that up, what he did with that. Oh, here it is. So if you have a PCB board in your keyboard that has the cable and the pin layout on one side, all the holes will be on the one side. Did you figure out what it was?
No.
I think it was a C90.
C90.
I think it was a C90. So what we're going to do with this is these walls are 2 millimeters wide.
Was it a C90?
I think it was a C90. Dude.
Or was this new one a C90? Yeah, I think it was a C90 because this is a C920.
Yeah, I think it was
It's
a C90.
It's
an older cam.
Logitech.
Yeah. In fact, let's take a look at how Simplify is doing. I'm sorry, how it's coming along. So we're at 64 degrees. The bed is at 50. Now the bed was supposed to hit 50, so the bed is where it should be. And this is now.
Yeah. So as soon as this hits, because that should be going up at this point, right?
Yeah, it is.
So now the tool is actually the print head.
So this tool right here.
We set that to
200.
200. No.
Yeah. You normally do it 190.
You go a little hot on yours, but. And then as soon as that gets to 200, which should happen pretty quick, then if we went up to the control, you'll see that the print will start printing, and then we'll continue on.
Okay. So do you want to wait for that, or should we continue on with the? Let's continue on with the.
Yeah.
How close are we? It's climbing pretty fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once it get the extruder goes pretty quick.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So, is it using a USB or a pin connection? That's USB. Did you already answer that, right?
Yeah. You mean the camera?
The camera's plugged right into the USB port of the Raspberry Pi. So we're not using the pin connection of the Raspberry Pi. Matter of fact, we're not using the pin connection on that project.
We could use a pin to have it turn off the printer or turn on lights.
Right. You might want to switch to the camera.
Okay, so we're coming at 180. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to control, and you should see the printer start printing out. Yeah, the pin connection on a Raspberry Pi is very cool,
Right.
To interact with. You can do bed leveling through it, but you know, you never really. I mean, the printer we have is a pretty cheap printer. Here it goes, the printer starting. It's a fairly cheap printer. It was very inexpensive. We did a lot of modifications on it. So we'll see if this starts. Does it look like it's hidden?
Yep. It's like that's plastic.
We do print on glass. So you'll see now that it's actually printing the first layer of what we just did. So we print on glass and we use hairspray.
Right.
Some people use the painter's tape. Some people prefer not to print on glass at all. And but we think the glass works out great.
Yeah. All right. So now that they see that start,
we're gonna let that go. We'll
and
continue. We'll go back over to this version. We'll go back over to here. And then here. Okay. So this is a copy. Now what we need to do is bring these holes over to this side. So we know that the
thanks, Karen. My wife is upstairs looking at the printer,
so we know that this is 6 and 5. So we're just simply going to take this design right here and move it to this other side.
Well, it would make more sense just to move this hole, duplicate whatever we just did.
Oh yeah, why do two holes
on that
when you just do one?
Right.
Is that on the right side?
That's what I was just about to say. So this is, if this was here, then this.
It's not. We have to move those two holes over there. Or it could be if we flip the board around,
but
we don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
So what he's looking at, see, if you look at the design of the board, it's got, this is the USB cable on one side, and the pins is to the left of your view. It's on the right of the USB cable. So we're using Cat5 to connect to those pins, which means instead of just moving this hole over to here, we're going to have to move these two holes over to there. So it's not a big deal. I mean, once you only create the one, it's just a copy and paste anyway. So let's grab a cylinder. We'll bring it in. We will rotate this cylinder.
Do we know the dimensions?
Yeah, it's 6 and 5.
If you clicked on this, just out of curiosity, if you click that, could you make that a solid?
See what happens. No.
Okay. Oh, you may want to undo that then. Okay.
All right, so we're going to drag this over. We're going to rotate this. And this is going to be rotated 90 degrees. We'll bring it over. This bottom one is going to be 6. And you know what? I always do it, so I'm going to do this. 6. See, I did it that time. And this one is going to be 6. And then we're going to duplicate that. Going to move it up. And this one is going to be 5. Why does that say 4?
I don't know. Click on one of the other ones.
It is 6.
No, I mean click on one of the other outer ones.
Oh, it's 6.
Okay.
I don't know why that's at 4. I must have clicked on the box. So this is going to be 5. And this is going to be 5. And then we're going to move this over.
Oh, you have it still set to.
All right, so we're going to move this up. So let's group these. We'll group these. So really, this right here is the same as that back there. So what I want to do is just to make sure we are right and we have this correct. Let's group these two together. That'll make that a solid object. We will move this back in. Let me change this to 1. Move this up. And I'm just going to fit this in place. And I think that has it there, right? Go up. Now, see, go up. Scroll, zoom in a little bit. Look. Oh, yeah, I can go up a little bit. So let me go up a hair.
Yeah, because there's gaps.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, a little bit more.
Yeah. That's better.
Okay. All right. So
Go underneath it and make sure that there's nothing, there's no gap there. Yeah, that's
no
good.
gap. Okay, so that looks like it's now in the right general area. So we now can move this forward if we want to keep it in the right spot. But I don't know that we do.
I don't know. Now that we're looking at it,
For this board,
this one
we want to
here-
shift them over.
Yeah, well, so are we looking, we're looking at it this way, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you're looking at,
I'm thinking we put one here and then one.
I agree.
Yeah. Because if you look at the board, it's not exactly where the other board, it's kind of centered. With this board, it's going to be off. So let's duplicate this. And then we'll move this over and we'll probably try to, I don't know, dude, it looks pretty good. We can move it over
See,
a
the
little bit
problem
more.
is that we'd have to look at the pin set again, but I think the pin set was 8 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And 1.
Oh, okay, so pin 1. So
1.
we have to have this. So,
Yeah, no, I would say that's close.
yeah, I mean, this doesn't really matter that much where these are, as long as they're on the left side of the board.
Right.
So I think that's not bad there.
I agree.
Okay.
I like that.
So what we're going to do for this is we are going to go back over here. We'll select this. Oops, undo that. Let's bring it down like this. We'll select this, make this a hole. Undo that. Let me drag this up. Drag this over. We'll select this, make that a solid.
Oh, no,
Oh,
you should
undo
group
that.
it.
I want to group it.
There you go.
Okay, now let's cut out that hole, and then I'm going to select this, make that a hole, select everything, group that, and now we have essentially the same hole design that was back here, and now we need to fill in that gap.
Right.
So let's drag a box, and we know that this is 3 millimeters wide, or 2 millimeters wide, right? And we'll enter that. We'll move that over.
No. Oh, you have
Yeah,
to.
I got to change this to 0.1.
No, it wasn't 2 millimeters.
It's a little bit more than 2 millimeters, so let's do.
2.5 maybe.
That's weird. I thought we definitely did 2 millimeters on that.
No, it's not 2.5.
How did we do that? That is weird. We're gonna have to relook at how we did that. Wow. Wow, that's strange. That's shocking. I don't know how.
So
We
that's
thought we
gotta
had the
be
dimensions of
2.4
that.
or 2.3.
Yeah, so let's change this again to 2.4, and then we'll see if that works. 2.3.
Yeah, 2.3.
Okay.
Yeah, and now move it.
Move it over. Okay. Now we're going to move this down. We just make sure we should be on the bottom. So this is going to be. Oh, I forgot the height.
It doesn't matter.
It's going to be. Let's do 16. 15.
don't you just move it down to its flush? Oh, never mind. I'm
You
sorry.
can't do that.
Yeah, sorry. So
14.
14.
It looks about right. And the one thing we are sure of is that it's 74. So this is going to be 74.
You weren't typing.
Of course.
Oh, I don't know what you're on there. That was the radius.
.00. zero. Let me slide this over.
No, wait.
Oh, it's 84.
80. It's 84.
See,
but it doesn't
even-
matter. You can keep it there. Because you're going to combine them, right?
Yeah, that's true, as long as it covers.
Yeah.
So let's stick it about there. Okay, let's take a look. I want to zoom in a little bit. I think we're all right, dude. I think we're okay.
Look at that. Look at that side right to the right. Move it right. Keep going. Keep
Oh, it does look like the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to move that red in just a little bit.
Oh, so now it's got to be bigger. 1 millimeter bigger.
2.4.
Maybe 2.35.
Wow, we are really...
No. No.
No,
you have
it
to
could
go
get,
one.
might need to go over just a hair. Hold on. No? Is
No.
it now sticking out? Oh, I know what we could do.
What?
Okay, so that's there. I think that's got it. I think that's got it.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to make this now one big solid. Right?
And then we got to make that hole back there. Oh, no, we don't.
No, that's it. So we're going to grab all this and group this. And now, oh, it was not. Look.
No, look at that. So you're going to have to make it. Yeah, you're going to have to make it.
No, but look, I could see the edge here. See that?
Oh, yeah. So it's got to come back out one.
Right.
So undo that.
And you know what I'm thinking about doing, dude? To avoid what we just did there, let's make this 84 the same width. And this way, if it does stick
Okay.
out a little bit, it won't matter. We only have to worry about one side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, let me change this to 1 and get it at least in a general direction. And then we'll see.
Up, you're moving it forward, aren't you?
Am I? Okay. So I'm just trying to get a good angle here. Here we go. How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's good. Oh, no, it's got to
One
come
more.
over. Yeah.
One more.
Looks like it's going down. It looks like you're bringing it down. You are bringing it down.
I was?
I don't know how you were doing it, but you were bringing it down.
How do I do
Look.
that?
Do me a favor. Don't make it 74. Make it like 72.
Oh, yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, why are we doing that? You mean
Oh,
82?
yeah, 82.
And this way it'll dip
Right.
in.
And then that way you could just move it, slide it to the left a
Yeah.
little bit, and you don't have to worry about a. See, is it which way is it moving?
It's moving to the left.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now it looks like this has to be made just a smidge bigger.
Yeah, I would click on the opening. There you go, and that way. Yeah, I mean it's not too.
So 2.36. Looked like it went up. No, it looks all right. Yeah, it looks all
Yeah,
right.
it looks right.
Okay, so let's group that now and see if. Oh no, wait a minute. It's gonna come up. Just a hair.
Did it not work?
Look, it's sticking
Oh,
up.
that's what I thought. I said to you. I think you were
Yeah,
moving
but
it
look,
up.
if I bring it down, that looks about right. Too.
Oh no, it's still sticking up a bit.
What am I on? I'm off. No, that's off.
Can you tap up? Will
Oh,
that?
wait, I think I got it.
No.
No.
Can you tap down now?
No, try it. Oh, it's. I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
I don't know which way that's going. Right there. Stay there. Oh,
No,
that-
that's
that
moving.
moves forward.
Now, what does that do? If you tap down, it all depends on the orientation that you're on. Nope, that didn't do anything. I don't know how to get it to go down. If I
Wait, what if you clicked on?
okay, that's
What if you clicked on it? No.
I don't think that's going to be noticeable. To be honest with you.
I don't either, dude. But no, it isn't because. No, I wouldn't worry about that, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
And the other thing we could do is make a duplicate of the box, rotate the entire box, but then that would fill
Yeah,
in.
then I wouldn't do that. I would say that that's fine. I would just group that.
You're not even going to tell.
Hmm.
Okay. So that is box number 2. So we're good.
All right, so I would save that.
It's already saved.
All right, and then you can, and then we can look at the print, see how the print is
Oh.
going.
So let me go back to Simplify 3D. I'm going to go to Octoprint.
There you go.
Okay.
And it's printing away. All right.
So there we go, people.
So both versions of the box are printed. So what we'll do is we'll let this print. We'll test it, and then we'll see if it fits. If this fits, then we'll just put it up on Thingiverse for everybody,
Yeah, we'll put both up on Thingiverse.
and we'll take a picture of it to let people know how it came out. But hopefully this one will fit, and then we move on to the next project. But to summarize again, this PVC board is just to turn, like, for instance, if you're a live streamer, let's give an
Yeah, let's do
example.
that scenario.
Let's just say that you're a live streamer. You're somebody who is trying to control something, but want to maybe do it with your foot, or maybe want to have a panel where each button of the panel does something,
Yeah,
like
goes to the
switches
next screen or mutes your
mic, or switches to the next scene,
Yeah.
or be right back, those type of things. Let's just say that you want to create something like that, or you're trying to create something where if you're in VR and you're holding two hands, that something else on your body will trigger another movement.
Yeah, whether it be like somebody had suggested in an earlier stream, it'd be great for Elite Dangerous.
Yeah,
That's a perfect
example.
So if you have a
Elite
panel that you can memorize, or maybe buttons that you can
put on
put on your chair.
Yeah.
And then
you
those
could just
buttons do things.
trigger something on your chair. So again, this is just pulled from any crap. I can tell you that we used was keyboards that were no longer functioning.
Yeah.
The keys were no longer functioning on the keyboard. And again, this is just stripped from that keyboard. And then we just mapped the pins. So if you go back to our previous video, I'm not sure what that previous video was called, but if you go back to the previous videos, you'll see how we mapped the pins and we figured out which one we wanted to click on. And then as long as you click on that, you can do whatever you want with this board. And in our case, we have a specific function that we're going to use it for.
You know what? It's easy to just think about your favorite program, and then think about when you're using two hands.
Right.
If you had an easier, or something that you do so repetitively, you're like, God, I hate that I have to do this every time when there's a keyboard shortcut. You can just create a button that does that. Just look to see what keyboard shortcuts the programs that you're using are using, and then create a button that does that simple keyboard shortcut.
And then find a way to hit that button without actually using your hands.
Yeah.
Kick it, could do whatever you want with it. But if for us, it's a specific need. We needed it for a reason. We're making it for that specific reason. And then once this print is done, then we're going to tie it in, because we can't actually, when you're in a VR, when you're wearing an HMD, a VR a headset, and you have both hands occupied, the last thing you want to do is lift up your headset to go to a keyboard, to hit something on a keyboard, to put your headset back down.
I got the perfect scenario for this. The perfect scenario outside of what we're doing. It's the biggest thing right now that's happening. You are playing Beat Saber.
Right.
You have no editing skills for post-editing your video. So you want to start and stop the recording exactly when the game begins and then the game ends, so that you have no editing you have to do. You have a video clip from the beginning to the end. If you're standing in your play area, you don't want to go over to your PC, hit the record button, go back to your play area, go through the menu, and then start the game, because then you're editing all that out.
Another perfect example.
This would start the game at the very beginning and then end it at the very end. No editing, no post-editing involved.
Right.
So that would be another ideal situation where you would use this very same thing that we're creating. So it's got a lot of process.
There is a honey fill in.
Oh yeah, I see the honey fill.
There is a little bit of
you could see it there on that top piece.
When it gets to the other one, I'm not sure if it's going to do a honey fill or not, but
yeah, so it is doing a honey fill infill, but still 10 is plenty.
Yeah.
And you can see that the time is varying. It just was an hour and a half, but at that time, in Octoprint, there's this little icon that sits next to it. Until that turns green, you don't have an accurate time. So this will probably take maybe another hour to finish, because that's estimating what it's doing now. The walls are thinner, and it'll decrease in time once the walls are being built. So that'll end this stream. I don't know how long we went for.
An hour and a half.
So that was way too long. Keep an eye out for the channel for updates on this. Keep an eye on our Instagram and our Twitter for pictures. We'll throw pictures up there once this is done. We did set this up for a time lapse.
Right.
So we'll throw a time-lapse video. Hopefully, we'll throw that up on the channel once this is done, of the process being done. And then and you'll see us in the future with what we're doing with it.
And it actually is pretty cool what we're doing with it. So you want to stay tuned. And if you're not subbed, go ahead and hit the sub button and hit the bell notification so that you'll know exactly when we put up the next video. Because again, this all ties into a project for VR. And we're doing alternative ways of this. So again, you don't have a 3D printer. you don't know anything about CAD, you don't want to send any project out to get printed, you want to do it on the cheap, then we're gonna show you a way of doing what we're doing, a cheap way of doing it. So
Yeah. So
it's
stay
all
tuned
good.
for that. And if there's something you want to see, or you could think of an idea you would use this for, put it in a comment. We'll let you know whether this is an ideal situation
Right.
for that.
Either
Or
way, you would need this to cover the PCB.
you'd still need the board, but we're even going to show you ways that you don't even have to solder the board. So that'll all be upcoming. Make sure you subscribe to see that and get notified. So thank you everybody for joining. This will end the stream, and we will see you on the next time.
See ya, people.